Good morning. I wanted to share with you today. We yesterday talked about finding healing in Jesus. And, Matthew tells us in Matthew chapter 14 and verses 34 through 36 that anyone who got to Jesus found healing for all their diseases there at Gennesaret. And so all those folks came to Jesus. They got healing. That's what Matthew tells us. And the problem, though, I think with a lot of us is that we can't get to Jesus. We keep bumping into people or bumping into things in the crowd that gathers around Jesus, and we don't get to him. And what are some of the things that crowd into our lives and keep us from getting to Jesus to find healing? Well, one of those things is control and giving control to Jesus. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. Tate used to love to do this thing. He still loves to do it. When you go to a restaurant and they've got a soda machine, he likes to make what's called a suicide soda. And that is, basically you go to every kind of soda in there and you put a little bit of every kind of soda in your cup, and you control all these things in your cup, and your cup gets filled up with all the things that you want. And a lot of us live life that way. We want to pick everything that's in our life, and there's so many good things. We want to have it all, and what ends up happening is we end up having too much, and we lose control, and then we're in this tailspin, and we're wondering what to do. And the problem was in the beginning that really we didn't trust God to control our lives, and for many of us that's a reality. We're scared. It's scary to give somebody else control of your life. But if that's something you struggle with, I want to talk a little bit about that today. We need to let God have control of our lives for a couple of reasons, and we may struggle with that. The first reason why I think we need to, though, is Colossians 1:17 says that he's before all things, and in him all things are held together. You see, Jesus knows all about you. He knows about the struggles that you're facing. He knows all about your life, and he knows what you were created to do. And if you're one of those folks and you struggle with that, there are some things I think we've got to do if we're struggling with giving God control of our life. Number one, we need to confess it to God. So many things in our spiritual lives begin with confession. And it's just getting on our knees and getting honest with ourselves and honest with God about what we're struggling with. And if we're going to be real with God and we're going to have a real relationship with God, it's got to start there with confession, with me just getting honest and telling God the truth. The second thing is, I think we have to be still in a lot of situations in life and just trust God in the middle of that situation and see the faithfulness of God unfold for us. 2 Kings chapter 7, the city of Samaria is under siege, is what we find out in the chapters and stuff leading up to that point. But the Lord had fought the battle for those folks. All they could do was depend on the Lord. And so many times in life, that's what we're really called upon to do, is to just be still and just watch God work. And that brings us really to the third thing I think that we've got to do if we want to give God control of our lives. And that is simply to trust God. Simply to trust God. Peter, he said in 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7, to cast all of our cares upon God because he cares about us. God cares about you today. He cares about the struggles that you're facing, the challenges that you're facing. I told you yesterday that God loves you and knows all about the fact that you don't want to give God control, and the why it's hard for you to do that. You've got to trust God in the middle of that situation and be honest with God and be honest with yourself about what might actually be going on. Here's what I'm going to tell you. God knows everything, and he knows all about you, and he loves you. And he loves me anyway, despite all the flaws that I have. Thanks a lot for being with us, for listening to the video. And I want to encourage you, come and join us at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. This coming week, we're going to be talking about the fact that everybody matters to God. Everybody matters. God loves people. And that was the highest command. Jesus said that people will know that you're my disciples by how you love one another. See you Sunday.